Video we're going to talk about selecting and panning. I'm going to open this floor plan sample provided by AutoCAD. So we're going to have to open this in a read-only mode. So click on yes, click on open, and you will have that project open. Now I'm going to first of all show you pan. There are many ways that you can start the pan command. You can use a command line. So I'll type P and that'll show me this command pan. When I click on that, and as you can see, I can click the left mouse button and then hold down. I can pan around in my working area. I'll press escape and that will give me a default cursor. I can turn on the pan by going to navigation bar and click on this pan, and that will turn on pan command. Now pan command is so common that you need to trigger pan command very easily. This is why in the introduction of this section I recommended to get a mouse with the middle button. So I'm going to press escape and I'm going to press the mouse wheel down. Once I press the mouse wheel down and hold it down, I can pan very easily. Mouse with a middle button that will trigger the pan command, very handy. But what if you don't have that mouse? You can press the space bar, that will trigger the pan command as well, and then click and then move around. Okay, that's one way of triggering pan command very easily. Next we're going to look at how do we zoom in. Well, zoom in is very handy with the mouse wheel as well. So I'm gonna just scroll my mouse wheel up, that will zoom in. Scroll my mouse wheel down, that will zoom out. I'm not gonna talk about zooming in details in this video, but let's talk about zooming in and out later in the video. So I'll just zoom in for now using the mouse wheel. Now I'm gonna talk about selection in AutoCAD. So to select any object, what you need to do is just take your cursor and move that cursor close or maybe on the top of that object, and you'll notice that the object is highlighted. It's like light yellow now. I can click on that and now that object turned into this bluish color with this vertex appearing. That means it is in a selection mode. I can add more objects to this selection by just clicking and clicking. Okay, now what if we want to remove this door from a selection, but I don't want to remove rest of the selection? So what you can do is press the shift key and take your mouse cursor next to your selection, and now you will notice that there's a minus symbol appear, which means if you click here, that will be subtracted from your current selection. I'm going to hold the mouse key, shift key down and then click. As you can see, I deselected the door. I can deselect this line as well. I can deselect these lines by holding the shift key down. So that's how you select in a simple way. But let's just say you want to select multiple objects at once. So how do you select? Let me zoom into this part and I'm going to pan by using the mouse wheel. I'm going to click and then leave the mouse button. I'm clicking the left mouse button. And now while I'm in this mode, I'm going to move my mouse and you'll see this greenish area, which means this is a selection area. Any object will touch this will be selected. So if I want to select this room, I have to move my green share all the way here and move it down. And before you can click on the mouse, you can see which of the objects will be selected because they are highlighted. I'm going to just simply click and you will see all of the objects that were touching that bit is selected. And now we are going to select whole drawing. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to click here and then make this green window and I can select everything. So this is very useful if you want to select a part of your drawing. I'm going to zoom in. Now how do we deselect completely? It's very easy. Press escape key And if you still have selection after pressing escape key once, just press it multiple times and you will cancel all the selection. Understand the difference between selection window and crossing selection window. If I click my mouse and let the mouse button go, if I move my cursor to the left, you'll see a green window is getting created. And if I move my cursor to the right from where I started the selection, the window color will turn to blue. So what is the difference between green window selection and a bluish window selection? The selection is selection, but there is a catch here which is very handy, and you need to understand that. So I'm going to zoom into this rectangle. Okay, I'm going to press escape to deselect. I'm going to start my crossing window selection, which is a green one. I will move my cursor up to here. You will see it is getting highlighted. The rectangle is getting highlighted, which means that if I click again, the rectangle will be selected. But let's just say if I start my selection from the left and move my mouse to the right, I will touch this, but guess what? The rectangle is not getting highlighted. So that means if I click, it will not select the rectangle. So what's going on here? Well, there is a very simple catch here. The green window will select everything which it touch. So it is touching the window, it basically, selects the object. Now blue window, it will only select an object which comes completely under the blue window. So if you want to select the rectangle with the blue window, what I will have to do is click here and then move my window all the way like that, and that's when it becomes highlighted, which means it will be selected. So now if I click, it will select the window. So the thing is, the blue window only selects an object which comes completely under the selection, and a green window, which is called a crossing window, selects anything which it touch. So if I draw a line, so I'm going to select this line command and just draw a line. Okay, so if I select this line with the green window, even though the line is not covered in the selection, it will be selected. But if I select with the blue window, it is not selected until I completely cover it in a selection. And this is very handy when you have a very complicated project like this one. For example, if I want to just select a door, okay, what I will have to do is just select the door like that, and let's just make the door covering the selection selected, and you get the door selected. But I'm going to press shift key and deselect this line. Now I only have a door, but if I select that with the green window, it will select like, all these walls and then door as well. So it's very useful, and you're gonna have to do a lot of practice during the course, and you'll master which selection to use at what time. Another type of selection we have in AutoCAD is a lasso selection. So if I click and let the mouse button go, I can see I can draw a rectangle selection. Okay, but let's just say if I want to select with something like a custom path. So let's just zoom in here. For example, I want to just select these two lines there. Okay, so what you can do is you can create a lasso selection. So to create a lasso selection, press the left mouse button and don't let it go, and then move your window and move your mouse actually, and you can see you are building your own custom path. Okay, so now if it touches this line, I can just create like a custom or weird path as well, and let the mouse button go, and everything will be selected which is touched by that greenish, green selection or crossing selection. So let's just zoom in to this bit. Okay, so let's just say if you want to select all these blue lines. Okay, so what I'll use is a lasso selection. So I'll just start like that, and I will select these two, and then come back, and then I will select these two. Okay, that did select, and then I will go and select these two and come back. And this is tricky here, so I'll have to do something like this maybe. Now that will select the green color, so let's just go this way. Okay, so now you could see I was able to select all these blue lines with lasso selection. So you need to do a bit of a practice with this. You can also create both types of selection. This is your greenish selection, and this is your bluish selection, which only selects if it completely covers everything. Now, this is not really an ideal way to actually select when you have to select these. What I'll do is I'll just select separately, and I will just click on these lines, because you can create a separate selections, and that will automatically add that to the selection. Okay, so you can see I was able to quickly select it instead of using lasso selection, but there is a use case for that as well, and we will cover those.